Oh man, we live, baby. We live. We lit, baby. We lit. What's really good, family Chi? Let me know if you guys are up in the building with me by simply hitting the like button. Let everybody know that we're live right now on Titanstv. And welcome to another edition of the Ramadan series. Yeah. Family
right
Tree.
now on TV.
And welcome. Let's get it. We see Serious Eye. He says he's the first one up, and I'm loving it. Yeah, baby. So, yesterday we did a show called The Mystery of Muhammad in the Cave, right? Mystery of Muhammad in the Cave, and we briefly touched upon a few very important things, i.e., what the hell was Muhammad doing in the cave in the first place? Yeah, like what was the significance of Hira? What was the significance of Hira, the cave, and so forth? We briefly touched upon, very key things, very key things. We touched upon the four Hanif or the Hanafiya. These are a group of people that broke from polytheism, supposedly, in Mecca during that time. Okay, that was Warqa ibn Naful, Zayd ibn Harith, Zayd ibn Amr, Khuwairf, and I believe somebody called, I don't know. Yeah, I do know, but I ain't got the time for that right now. So yeah, those four individuals, but out of those four individuals, we're talking more specifically about one of those individuals, although the second one, Waraka, will come in and prove very pivotal, important. Yeah, so the second one the first one that we discussed was Zayd ibn Amr, okay, Zayd ibn Amr. And why was Zayd so very important, okay? Zayd was a person who was very well learned. He learned Judaism or Judaic scriptures from rabbis, etc. He learned from Christians. He was that guy. He was that guy that just went around the whole world studying, so to speak. But he was also a Hanafi. Okay, and Hanafi are those people are mentioned in the Quran who dealt with Hanuk. Hanuk is the name of Enoch, which is known in the Quran as Idris. Okay, so Hanok or Enoch or Idris, also known in Greek literature as Thoth or Hermes. Okay, Thoth and Hermes. So these are those people, the Sabians. They dealt with that information and that knowledge itself. Right, very interesting. So these are the three. So if let me know, I'll drop this, but if you really want to know more about Islam, yeah, and kind of see what it sprung out of, you really need to know Judaic, i.e., Judaic literature, inclusive of the Torah and what was written by Jews, i.e., the Gospel, and the New Testament, and other literature that was written by Christians. And then you want to know, Enochian literature or Hermetic literature. Once you get a good grasping and handle of that, yeah, those are the three things. If you get a good grasping and handle of that, and you read the Quran, your eyes will be wide open, wide open. Because of course, these are the people that, if you read the Quran, you will see these are the people that Muhammad was speaking predominantly to, as well as the polytheists of Mecca and so forth, right? These are the key people. The Jews. You'll all hear the Jews being mentioned, the Christians being mentioned. And then you'll also hear about the Sabians, okay? Again, in the Quran, actually, it says that these three groups of people would actually have, or if they follow what they need to follow, they will basically see heaven or go into paradise. And so I'm paraphrasing, okay, just straight paraphrasing. But you can go into the Quran and you find these three groups of people being mentioned. All right. So we spoke about Zayd. He was also a mentor of Muhammad. Okay, so he would go in Hira. He would stay up there because he was being persecuted by Umar's father, Al Khattab. Yeah, he's being persecuted by them, and saying, "No, I don't even let these guys. They're gonna take they're gonna make the rest of the folks like go astray from our religion, from our way of life. So please, like, we need to keep him out of Mecca. And the only way he could enter Mecca is by secretly. If we need to go through the literature later on, and we can, we'll pick out the sources and so forth, so you can read it yourself. We can do that later on, but we're just doing a quick overview right now. Okay, so so he was up in Hira. He was there, teaching the people, whoever want to listen. Muhammad was there, jamming with him, listening to him speak. If you listen to the teachings of, Zayd ibn Amr, okay, you'll see that a lot of Quranic philosophy, a lot of Quranic teachings, literally verbatim is coming from what he thought and what he preached and what he told other people. Like, very, very interesting. Like, you guys got to read it. And again, because this is Ramadan, we're actually bringing out uh the literature. So we're drawing. Let me just talk about the sources we're drawing on. We're drawing on Syrian literature. Syrian literature. So you can find Syrian literature by Ibn Kathir. You can find the histories, which is partly Syrian literature by Tabari. We're going all the way back to Ibn Hisham, Ibn Ishaq. We're going back to those types of literature. And of course, you can find most of these stories broken down in the Hadith literature as well. Okay, but those are the main places that we're pulling from the sources from. Okay, very interesting, very, very interesting stuff. So, but also, we spoke about Zayd ibn Amr yet again being buried somewhere. He was buried where? At the foothills of Mecca. Okay, at the foothills of Mecca. That's where he was buried. And then we spoke also. Our Jewish brother Duvud came on, and was also speaking about incubation. Okay, incubation or dream incubation rituals. This was a practice that both pagans and Christians and even Jews, so to speak, would do this, right? Do you know what? Yeah. Okay, let me give you the basic breakdown of it. The basic breakdown is you go to a holy site, right? Holy site, sacred site. It could even be a shrine, a place where like a saint is buried, or whatever the case is, right? And you will spend the night there, or spend several nights there in hopes of a dream. Okay, so you'd be there, you'd be doing that. Dream comes to you, boom, boom, boom. Like, it'll either be to a question, to for healing, for some type of prophecy. Something will come to you, yeah, and that's what happened. And then you get something. But what was very interesting is we see the same activity taking place with Muhammad in Hira. Because what? What's going on? Somebody's actually buried there. Who's buried there? Zayd ibn Amr is buried there. And he's there sleeping, having dreams, visitations from a divine being or an angelic being. Like, this sounds like a lot like dream incubation to me. We see it with inside of the Hadith literature, with inside of the Syrian literature. Let me see. Oh, this is how you know. This has just gone through it all. Like, this is how you know how I study books. We study good books. So this is the Syrian literature, the life of Muhammad, right? And let me pull on something. I'm sure I've got something. Page 62, maybe? Yeah, page 62. So if you've got the Syrian literature by Ibn Hisham, Ibn Ishaq, go to page 62, and we find something very similar, right? With his grandfather. So a lot of, like, when you read the Syrian literature, there is a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about somebody else, but it's going to come to pass with Muhammad himself. So let's get into it. So over here it says here, ooh, this is when they was digging for Zamzam. Yeah, listen to this one. While Abdul Muttalib was sleeping in the Hijr, okay. I'm going to break down the Hijr in a minute. Actually, I will actually no. Let me break down the Hijr. The Hijr, yeah, is like this semicircle thing around the Kaaba. Like an area, like the Kaaba is a square thing, and there's like a little semicircle, half circle that goes by, picture a square and a semicircle, okay? But supposedly, Ismail and Hagar was actually buried underneath the Hijr, okay? And people will go there and do incubation. They will sleep there. We're gonna find this out actually, because we're gonna read this and we're gonna find this out, okay? So while Abdul Muttalib was sleeping in the Hijr, he was ordered in a vision. So now he had a vision. He was ordered in a vision. So he was sleeping in the Hijr, which is the grave site of Ismail and Hagar, yeah? And he was ordered in a vision, you see the vision, to dig Zamzam. Okay, Yazid ibn Abu Habib al-Mazri from, okay, I'm not going to read out the whole isnad, it's too long, okay. It says here, from Abu Talib, basically, telling the story of Zamzam. He said that Abdul Muttalib said, I was sleeping in the Hijr when a supernatural visitant came and said, dig Tiba. I said, and what is Tiba? Then he left me. I went to bed again, and the next day and slept, and he came to me and said, dig Bara. When I asked what Bara he left me. The next day he came and said, dig Al Muduna. When I asked what was he when I asked what that was, he went away again. The next day he came while I was sleeping and said, dig Zamzam. I said, what is Zamzam? And he said, "'Twill never fail or even run dry. 'Twill water the pilgrim company it lies, 'twixt dung and the flesh bloody, by the nest where the white-winged ravens fly, by the nest where the ants to and fro do ply." When the exact spot had been indicated to him and he knew that it corresponded with the facts, he took a pickaxe and went with his son Al-Harith, for he had no other son at the time, and began to dig. Okay. When the top of the well appeared, he cried, Allahu Akbar. Okay, so yeah, real quickly. So we can see, like the same type of thing is going on with Muhammad and his own vision, right? He's now gone to a particular place that's sacred where saints or people who, saints or prophets or somebody of holiness is now buried. He goes there to sleep, which is called dream incubation. It's a ritual, right? In the hopes of actually having a vision. And he, just like Abdul Muttalib, has a vision. He, just like Abdul Muttalib, is told something 3 times. Read, 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 until finally, it is now expanded upon. Read in the name of your Lord who created you from alaq, and who taught man that which he knew not. Um, your Lord is most generous, something along those lines. My translation of Arabic in my head isn't as good as it used to be. So yeah, so that's what happened, right? So we can see like hold on, very similar, right? Very, very similar. Like the two things are very similar. But if you don't read, you don't get to clock on what's going on here, right? So these are these ancient practices that was taking place. So we briefly touched upon that yesterday. If you haven't seen yesterday's video, go back and go and watch it. The mystery of Muhammad in the cave. Boom, that's it. So now, fast forwarding, right? We didn't even get to the point of the actual revelation. Let me see, have I missed anything? No. So we haven't even got to the point of the actual revelation itself. Like, what did Muhammad see? What was given to him, etc., etc. All right. And we're going to go through this vision. Okay. And we're going to do, we're going to play detective slash, we're going to play as though, we heard this, like Muhammad is here with us right now, right? Muhammad is here with us. We're going to try to see what exactly he saw and what do we as the audience take from it. What I mean by this, when an author writes something, so you find this in the literature, right? So the author has a message, and the message, this is rhetoric, this is Aristotelian rhetoric, right? So you have the author or the orator, that's him, right? He has a message, right? But he also has the people that he's narrating it to. But he now needs to craft his message, in a way that the receivers or the recipients, i.e., the audience members, would actually receive it and grasp the message that they're trying to give, right? So now, understanding that and understanding it as the literature, and then also understanding what exactly was the authors of this literature trying to say, or what were they trying to say Muhammad was trying to say, or what was Muhammad trying to, there's various different levels to it, but what was Muhammad trying to say? What are they trying to convince us of? Who and what happened to Muhammad? What happened to Muhammad? Who visited Muhammad? And why, should we now take Muhammad to be a prophet? Like, You know, that's the first thing that happened to Muhammad that convinced others that he was a prophet. It convinced, you know, Waraka. Again, Waraka was a Christian who studied the Jewish and Christian literature and human knowledge, philosophies and so forth, right? He was a person that was very well learned, very well learned. And he now told Muhammad, you know, confirming what Muhammad saw, and now told him that he was a prophet. So what did he see that convinced him? What did Muhammad say to him that convinced him that Muhammad was now a prophet? What convinced Khadija that he was a prophet? What convinced the earliest followers of Muhammad that he now was a prophet? So we're going to go into the visions and so forth, right? We're going to go into all of that, right? See what it is. And then we're going to open it up to be like, okay, what is this? Like, and hopefully we have people from different faiths, backgrounds, and knowledge bases, right? So as a Jew, if you got told this information, who would you say this was? Like, who is Muhammad, or who are the authors trying to say this person was? If you're a Christian and you heard this, who are we trying to be convinced this was? If you're an atheist or anybody else, or Chemetics, because obviously we're dealing with Enoch knowledge right now. We're dealing with Enochian or Hanifi Sabian knowledge, right? So if you're even Kemetic, right, or Hamitic even, who are we trying to be convinced of, right? So we're going to do that. And I'm going to open up the platform for everybody else to come in. If you want to come in, right, all you have to do is go into the description box, yeah, and you will see the link to join us, the StreamYard link, yeah. Come in through and join us. But right now I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to take a quick break and go through your comments. So if you got any comments that you want me to read out, you can either super chat or just tag Titanstv, and then we'll keep it flowing, yeah? All right, this is your opportunity to say what you need to say right now. Tag Titanstv or drop us a super chat. Let me go through. How are ya? Says big up. Jeez, I missed the sister. All right. Serious Isis, fascinating show last night. The live chat was lit. Get me lit. Love, here we go. Buttress then says, love the way you think, Kalam. You are truly inspiring and one of my role models. Ba, 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 ba. Sounds like Salman the Persian. All right, let's keep on going. If Abdullah, let's see this. If Abdullah ibn Sa'id ibn Abi Sar, Muhammad's scribe, left Islam because Muhammad was a false prophet, how come y'all don't see it? Okay, I'm reading out comments, right? Kalam, what are the chances that Islam is basically a Christian heresy in opposition to Athanasius' creed, resembling Arius, with some other modifications, such as Jesus being solely a prophet? I would say, what are the chances that Islam is basically a Christian? Okay, I would say that Islam, and I'm going to be very precise with it, very, very precise, yeah? Islam is, no, let me do it again. Nascent Islam is a Christian sect. Nascent Islam is a Christian sect. Not Islam after 700s and 750s and so forth, right? The early, talking about, you know, the 600s, Islam in 600s, basically, yeah? That was a nascent Christian sect. So I'll agree with you. So I will, no, I will disagree with you on saying that it was, well, Christian heresies are technically a Christian sect, right? Okay, in opposition to Athanasian and Athanasius' creed, resembling Arius with some other modifications, such as Jesus being a solely prophet. Okay, the later version of Islam would be comparable to exactly what you said. The later version of Islam. But the earlier version, I don't even think so, you know? You'll have to go into the closest thing to what early Islam was teaching. You will have to go into Syriac/Ethiopian Christian, but a slight modification took place with inside of Ethiopian Arabian Christianity. It's a deep subject. It's a deep subject. That one there is a whole show by itself. Salute to you, though. Salute to you. Salute to you, because whew, you're gonna make me go down a whole rabbit hole with that one. Okay, but let me not even go there. Okay, is it Mount Hira? just an encryption of Al-Hira, the Lahmid capital. Ooh, you see, certain people are dropping that. Certain people are dropping that. There could be a possibility with it. I wouldn't say so, because there's no real evidence for me to suggest that, but it's a good theory nonetheless. And why does always God take the credit for things that the stories written say he hated? God didn't teach Adam anything. He walked with him and let Adam name the animals in the garden, taught him nothing, says Darth Raven. Okay. Titanstv, you're gonna discuss back home today? Oh man, we did a little bit of back home yesterday, but we could do back home again later on, right? So again, you lot can join us if you want to. But I'm going to continue, right? I'm actually going to continue. I've read out the messages, so I've done my job. Let me continue now, okay? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool. So that's the link to join us. Now let's get back into it. Actually, family, hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. I don't even know how many likes we've got right now, right? And also let everybody know that we're live right now on Titanstv. Come on, let's get the numbers up. Let's get the numbers up, baby. Okay, so yeah, yesterday we talked on a little, we jumped into Tabari. Let's see if we could jump into Tabari again. Let me try to get it up. Oh no. Oh mate. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to get Tabari up. Let me actually share my screen so you guys can see what I'm seeing. Chrome view. Nope. Window view. Al-Sira. Okay, cool. Share. There we go. There we go. Okay. So, what do we have here? What do we have here? I want shared by you. Nope. Document files, all files. Nope. Recent. Oh man, the whole thing. I can't even get it up. That's what she said. You're dumb, fam. Give me a second. I can't even get Tabari up, you know. Oh no, and that's like the major thing. That's literally the major thing that we need right now is Tabari. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can download it then. Tabari Volume 6. Let's see if we can do it. Tabari Volume 6. Tabari Volume 6. My goodness. Give me a second, family. You see when things go wrong, like volume, this hasn't even gone wrong, but you see when you rely on certain technology and it's just not popping. It's just not popping. Kalam, what you did to the video was not nice. Ah, no, I was nice, man. I was real nice. Can't tell me I wasn't nice. All right. So anyways, we're gonna download Tabari Volume 6. There we go. You know, there you go. So if I could do it like that, yeah, guys, you guys can do it as well, right? Let me share screen. Boom, boom, boom. Chrome tab, Tabari. There you go. All right. Okay. So we're going to Tabari Volume 6. Unfortunately, my Adobe is moving mad. Like, you know, when I spend a good £25 a month, yeah, just to have access to this Adobe, yeah, Acrobat or whatever it's called, where I can do PDF files, yeah, and then the thing doesn't want to work. No, it has no respect on my name, you know, absolutely no respect. Let me close all tabs and just close the whole thing down. It has no respect, but yeah, give me a second, family. Let me get it up for you. Okay. So in here, it talks about the revelation. So this is like where we really need to get to, is to do with the revelation of Muhammad. That's the real important part. Oh, I've skipped a long way. Okay, let me get to number 10. I want to get to like page 40. Try page 40. Okay. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. All right, cool. So, are we all familiar with Muhammad receiving revelation? Let me see. Talk to me, family. Are we all familiar with Muhammad receiving visions and revelations? Let me know. Okay, I'm gonna wait for you guys to let me know, and then I'm gonna break it down. Okay. So I'm simply going to Tabari, yeah, and this is the translator's forwards, right? Because it's kind of simple and easy. It's got most of what we need. It says, there is much to be said, except in the statement of Aisha, that first beginnings of revelation for the messenger of God was true visions. It used to come upon him like the dawn. It seems very probable that this refers to the two visions described in Surah 53, 1-8. Okay, so this is talking about Muhammad's revelations. Okay, his visions. This is what he saw. All right. Let's go into it. It says here, by the star, when it sets, your comrade neither errs nor is deceived, nor does he speak from his own fancy. It is naught but a revelation revealed, which one of mighty powers taught him, a vigorous one. He grew clear to view, while being on the uppermost horizon. Then he drew near and came down, till he was 2 bows length or nearer, and revealed to his slave what he revealed. The heart like not in what it saw. Will you dispute with him concerning what he sees? Indeed, he saw him yet another time by the lot of the trees. Sorry, the lot tree of the utmost boundary, near which is the garden of abode. When the lot tree was strangely shrouded, the eye turned not aside, nor yet was overbold. He saw one of the greatest signs of his Lord. Dum dum dum. Okay, cool. All right. So these were the visions, yeah, that Muhammad was seeing. We're gonna get to the cave in a hot minute, right? But this was the thing he was seeing, right? And that's revealed in the Quran. So that's like the what we would like to say the first proof text for his visions. Okay. Now we're gonna go into this, yeah. We're gonna just go straight into what the forward is saying, and then we can get into a little bit more depth in a minute. In Islamic tradition, the second vision is often identified with the night journey, of which more will be said later. This is unlikely, however, since the vision of 53, 13 to 18 appears to be very early, whereas the night journey is generally held to come late in the Meccan period. The words here translated reveal and revelation are those which became the standard terms for these concepts, but in this passage, they are used in a more general sense, which could perhaps be rendered by suggested or indicated. All right. And of which there are several examples in the Quran. This means that these visions were not the beginning of the verbal revelation, which constitute the Quran. It should also be noted that the word slave in verse 10 implies that the object seen was a divine being and not an angel, since slave would be inappropriate in the latter case. When after the Hijrah, it came to be accepted view that the angel Gabriel was the agent of revelation. He was taken to be the object of the vision, but many of the early commentators allow that it was of vision of God. It may be, however, that Muhammad taught of him only as his Lord, not as Allah. Okay, so I wanted to drop that real quickly, yeah? I wanted to drop that real quickly. And the reason why I want to drop that, right, is because when we speak in, and more time when we speak into Muslims or even Christians, right, and we say, like, what was, the revelation or the vision that Muhammad had? And most people say, yeah, it was the angel Gabriel who gave him the revelation. That was the vision he saw. But if you read the Quran, it is quite clear, and the forward is making you know this, that it cannot be the angel Gabriel. Why? Why can't it be the angel Gabriel? Because it refers to the person as an abd, a slave. All right. And to be a slave, this has to be a divine being. You're a slave of a divine being rather than the angel and so forth, right? So this is where it's going to get to, right? And also, this particular person was sitting on a throne, right? This particular person was sitting on the throne and was referred to as Lord. This is at this point, Allah hasn't even come into the mix, you know. Allah has not even come into the mix. This is the Lord speaking. Muhammad had a vision of the Lord. Yeah, very good. All right, give me a second. Okay. Give me a second, extra family. I'm trying to still get this acrobat to work. Let me quit this. Let me do a force quit. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, force quit that. And I see we got Day tonight up in the building. Give me a hot second. We're going to just run through this, and then afterwards we will get people in. We can start talking. Malat Shezmu is up in the building as well. Wow. I'm honored, you know. I'm honored. We've got some great people just coming through. All right. Okay. I want to see, can I get Tabari up here? Can we get him? All files. There we go. Volume 6. There we go. Make my life easy. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmani Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Man. Let's get it, baby. Let's get it. Okay, go. There you go. Okay, cool. So back to Tabari now. Hopefully it is up. It should be nice and live and loud. Cool. Okay. So now, where did I want to go with this? Okay, cool. All right, I want to skip over here to the side here. There is not much of a clear historical value in the remaining material about the call of prophethood. The story of the revelation by Gabriel, the first part of Surah 96, cannot be accepted as it stands, since there are strong grounds for holding that it was only after the Hijrah that Muhammad came to think of Gabriel as the agent of revelation. The receiving of passages of the Quran does not seem to have been accompanied by any visual experience, and so it is plausible that Muhammad thought that it was his Lord himself who was putting the Quran into the heart. Interpreted in this way, the story may be essentially true, at least in those versions in which the words ma'akaru are taken to mean what shall I recite. At some point, Muslim scholars realized that these words could also mean I did not recite or do not read. By this time, in order to counter Christian claims that Muhammad taken source from the Bible, there had been a point of apologetics to say Muhammad was unable to read. And so the stories of the first revelation were sometimes modified to support this line of apologetics. Such modifications are certainly not original. All right, cool. Let me get to it though. Cool. Yeah, cool. So we're gonna go to the revelations now. We're gonna actually jump into the revelations and the Hadith literature, mixing with the Quran literature to see what was going on. Give me a hot second. Let me find the pages that we need to get to. Okay, another important point, actually. Let me just drop this important point before I do continue. Okay, early in the material from Al-Zuri on page 1147, there occurred the words, the truth, that is God, came to him unexpectedly and said, Muhammad, you are the messenger of God. And he repeated the words shortly afterwards in Khadija's chamber. A line or two later, the same words are spoken to Muhammad by Gabriel on page 1155. Gabriel comes to him after the gap in the revelation says, you are the prophet of God. The name of Gabriel cannot be original here, since he belongs to the period after the Hijrah. If there is a genuine experience underlying the story, it is to be found in the version which speaks of the truth, for this could be identified with Muhammad's Lord and the divine being of the visions. Okay, so we're going to go into this, right? And I wanted to just read this background story because more times when we talk about this first revelation, everybody says Gabriel, 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 yeah. But at least we know from a scholastic point of view, we know, yeah, that this is not Gabriel. This is a later interpolation that was put in because they wanted to try to make sense of this. This person that was in the vision, yeah, have so far been given three appellations. Three appellations. He is called the truth, the way, and the life. That's my interpolation. Just let's stick with the truth. He is also called the Lord, right? And he is clearly a divine being. Okay? Three things. He's a divine being, he's called the Lord, and he's also called the truth, right? Now, we're going to go into it. Give me a second. Okay, so we're going to go to page 67. Let's get it. Okay. Okay, so this right here, as you can see, the manner in which the Quran was first revealed. And we're going to skip to roughly here. Okay, so Aisha says, the first in which the revelation came to the messenger of God was true vision. This used to come to him like the break of dawn. After that, he grew to love solitude and used to remain in a cave on Hira, engaged in acts of devotion for a number of days before returning to his family. Then he would return to his family and supply himself with provisions for a similar number of days. This continued until the truth came to him. Unexpectedly. Yeah? Let's go into this though. Let's go into this because we have to start reading the footnotes. In this usage, the truth, al-haq, is God, and the apparent declaration of Muhammad's messengership by God support the view that he originally took the visions to be of God. Mm. 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 I'm going to say divine being, and we're going to continue. Muhammad, you are the messenger of God. Okay, describing what happened next. The messenger of God said, I had been standing but fell to my knees and crawled away, my shoulders trembling. I went to Khadija and said, wrap me up, wrap me up. When the terror left me, he came to me and said, Muhammad, you are the messenger of God. He said, I had been thinking of hurling, Muhammad had been thinking of hurling himself down from a mountain crag, but he appeared to me as I was thinking about this and said, Muhammad, remember, this is the interpolation here. I am Gabriel. You are the messenger of God. Then he said, recite. And he said, what shall I recite? He took me and pressed me 3 times tightly until I was nearly stifled and utterly exhausted. And he said, read or recite in the name of your Lord who created. And I recited. Then I went to Khadija and fear of my life, etc., etc., etc. Then she took me to Waraka ibn Naful and said to him, listen to your brother's son. Listen to your brother's son. So Waraka's brother was Muhammad's father. Plot twist, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist, plot twist. Is it just me? Listen to your brother's son. Oh yeah, oh, that's another story. That's a story for another day. All right. Let me just say, let's put that down in the footnotes and let's hang that on to the next day. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's keep on going. He questioned me and I told him what had happened. He said, this is the Namus, which was sent down to Moses, son of Imran. Would that I were a young man now, and would that I could be alive. Then your people drive you out. I said, will drive me out? Yes, he said, no man has ever brought the message which you have brought without being met with enmity. If I live to see the day, I shall come firmly to your aid. The first parts of the Quran to be revealed to me after Iqra were Nun, by the pen, and that which they write. You are not, through your Lord's favor, to you a madman. Yours will be a reward unfailing, and you are of a great nature. You shall see, and they shall see. O you enveloped in your cloak, arise and warn by the forenoon and by the night when it is still. Okay? All right, cool. Cool. Okay, cool. There is more, accounts of the same thing. All right. There's more accounts of the same thing. I read. There is more. There is more accounts. I wanted to get to the one where there was a guy sitting on a throne. Actually, let's see if I can find that one. Let me see quickly. So my brother. Okay, cool. Here you go. Here you go. Let me do this one. Okay. So first revealed, oh, you enveloped in cloak, and I said, what about recite in the name of your Lord? But he answered, what I am telling you is what the prophet told me. He said, I was in retreat on Hira, and when I had completed my retreat, I came down the mountain and went into the bottom of the wadi. Then I heard a voice calling me. I looked right and left, behind me, in front of me, but could not see anything. Then I looked up, and there he was sitting on a throne between heaven and earth, and I was afraid of him. Okay. It continues, right? It continues. I don't want to go fully into this, yeah, because there's so much different narrations, and to spend time going through those different narrations is gonna take a long time. But we're gonna come back to it, yeah. We're gonna just. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. All right. Remember, yeah, family tree, the link, yeah, because we're gonna open it up in a hot second. I'm actually gonna open it up. Cool. So Muhammad is having this revelation. He has this vision, right? He has this vision. He has this vision. Okay. This vision is the Lord. This vision is called the truth. This particular individual is sitting on a throne. This particular individual comes to Muhammad, and tells him to read. Okay. He actually presents him, we didn't get to see it. He presents him, something with writing on it, and he tells him to read. Then he read the name of your Lord who created, etc. Right? Does all of this. Then, he's now taken to Waraka, right? And Waraka tells him who it is. Yeah? Tells him who it is based upon the information that Muhammad has said, right? And this is the point that I wanted us to do, like a joint enterprise of working out who this person is, right? Who is this person that is called the Lord? Who is this person that is called the truth? Who is this person that sits on a throne, appears in heaven, suspended between heaven and earth? Who is this person who creates? Who is this person who is the instructor or teaches men, etc., etc.? Who is this person? Who is this person? We're going to go through who Waraka said this person is, but I want to know from your knowledge, who is this person? And what I'm going to do is open up. Day to night, talk to me. You are live on Titanstv, baby. Okay. Good job. Good day tonight. Does not want to participate. What's going on?
Yo, my bad. I'm driving. I'll be back. I'll be back in a bit.
All right, say nada. All right. Family tree. All right. The link has been sent. Yeah. If you want to come on in, talk to me. I want to know. You've heard so far certain things, right? Who do you think this being is that presented himself to Muhammad? I want to know. Talk to me. Tell me who it is. I'm leaving it open for you guys to tell me who it is. We'll wait. I'm going to actually bring up the Syria literature again, and I'm going to read through it and see who does Waraka actually say it is. That's what we're going to do next. And then we'll break down what Waraka saw. What is it that convinced Waraka it was this particular individual? What convinced him of this? Okay. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let me actually share my screen. We're going to read from the Syriac literature. Let's go. Let's make it a little bit larger. Okay. Anyways, remember, I just want to quickly say, yeah, just like for you guys to know, where you see Gabriel wasn't there initially. Okay. Where you see Gabriel was not there initially. This is something that's been interpolated into the text. Okay, when it was night, on which God honored him with his mission and showed mercy on his servants thereby. Gabriel brought him the command of God. He came to me, said the apostle of God, while I was asleep, with a coverlet of brocade, whereupon was some writing, and said, "Read." I said, "What shall I read?" He pressed me so tightly that I thought it was death. Then he let me go and said, "Read." I said, "What shall I read?" He pressed me with it again, so that I thought it was death. Then he let me go and said, "Read." I said, "What shall I read?" He pressed me with it the third time, so that I thought it was death, and said, "Read." I said, "What shall I read?" And this I said only to deliver myself from him, lest he should do the same again. He said, "Read. Ikra. Bismi Rabbika. Read in the name of your Lord, who created man of blood coagulated. The term there is alak, but let's go with blood coagulated. Read, thy Lord is the most beneficent, who taught by the pen, taught that which they knew not unto men. So I read it. Imagine that, some people say that Muhammad can't read, yeah, but that's a story for another day again, and that's a story for another day. Let's go into it. So I read it, and he departed from me, and I awoke from my sleep, and it was as though these words were written on my heart. I'm going to skip what Tabari put here. Now, none of God's creatures were more hateful to me than an aesthetic poet or a man possessed. I could not even look at them. I thought, woe is me, poet or possessed. I read it anyway. Never shall the quarry say this of me. I will go to the top of the mountain, throw myself down, and will make myself and gain rest. So I went forth to do so, and then. Okay, so this is what's in Tabari, but not in this particular version. Right? Let's continue. When I was midday on the mountain, I heard a voice from heaven saying, "O Muhammad, thou art the apostle of God, and I am Gabriel." Remember again, this Gabriel was not actually there in the earliest literature. This is something that's been put forward. All right. I raised my head towards heaven to see who was speaking, and lo, Gabriel in the form of a man with feet aside the horizon, saying, "O Muhammad, thou art the apostle of God, and I am Gabriel." I stood gazing at him, moving neither forward nor backwards, and I began to turn my face away from him, but towards whatever region of the sky I looked, I saw him as before. Blah 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 blah. I'm standing in the same place, etc., etc., etc. Let me quickly go down. Draw closer. She said, "Oh, Abu Qasim, where hast thou been? By God, I sent my message in search of you." I'm going to skip so we can get to the juicy parts. It says over here. Okay, then I told her of what I had seen, and she said, "Rejoice, O son of my uncle, and be of good heart. Verily, by him in whose hand is Khadijah's soul, I have hope that thou wilt be the prophet of this people." Then she rose and gathered her garments about her and set forth to her cousin Waraka ibn Nafal, who had become a Christian and read the scriptures and learned from those who followed the Torah and the gospel. And when she related to him what the apostle of God told her, he had seen and heard. Waraka cried, "Holy, holy, verily by him in whose hands is Waraka's soul. If thou hast spoken to me the truth, O Khadijah, there hath come unto him the great Namus." Tabari puts here, meaning Gabriel. That's a story for another day. Who has come to Moses aforetime, and lo, he is the prophet of this people. Bid him of good heart. Okay, so now, all right, we've gone through that. I'm just going through all of these little things, right? We've gone through that. We'll keep seeing we keep seeing there is this vision of this being, right, in the midst of heaven, sitting on a throne. Later Muslims equated that to Gabriel, but in early Islam, it was never equated to Gabriel at all, right? We'll just put it out there. Now, from that, what possessed Waraka? What made Waraka said this was the Namus? And then who is the Namus according to Waraka? Oh, sorry, who is the Namus? What is the Namus? And how did Waraka come to this opinion? And I'm asking you guys this question. I'm asking you guys this question. All right? I want to see if you guys like are in the learning spirit today. Like, can we get into the learning spirit? Yeah. Can we get in the learning spirit? Give me a second, family. Give me a second. All right, let me go back. 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 There we go. Let's go back here. We're going to go to page 42. Let's do this. Okay, cool. So, Waraka used the term Namus. So I want to just go into this term Namus. So this is not my words. This is what, again, Tabari, the translators forward, this is what they're saying, yeah? So let's go into this. All right, cool. It says here, there are many discrepancies in the versions of the story about Waraka, but the central point is the assurance to Muhammad that what had come to him was the great Namus, which had come to Moses. Western scholars have tended to identify the Namus with the Mosaic law because the resemblance to the Greek nomos. The identification with Gabriel is impossible for the reason given above, but suggests that Waraka may have been saying that the Lord of Muhammad's experience was God who had come to Moses. Okay, so again, I'm going to just quickly do this. Western scholars have tended to identify the Namus with the Mosaic law because of the resemblance to the Greek nomos. Okay, so you would call the Torah or the law of Moses the nomos. Okay, so they've identified the Arabic word namus with the Greek nomos. The identification with Gabriel is impossible. All right, they already showed you that making the nomos equated to Gabriel is something that came in later on when Muslims are trying to understand this, right? Anyways, but suggests that Waraka may have been saying that the Lord of Muhammad's experience was God who had come to Moses. Okay, so Western scholars have now interpreted it as the Lord of Muhammad's experience was the God who had come to Moses. We're going to entertain that thought for a hot second. Even though Waraka said the Namus specifically, we're going to say the God who had come to Moses. I want to know who is the God or this angelic being that came to Moses. Does any of you guys know who that angelic being or / divine being / God was? Does anybody know? Come on. Come on, baby. They're coming for your internet's kind of. I know it looks that way still. All right, cool. So let me see if I can actually bring it up. Can I bring it up? Let me see if I can bring it up. Dum 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 dum. Come on, where's my Hebrews at? Where's my Hebrews at? Yeah, because we all know who that angel was, yeah, or that being was. We call him the lesser Yahweh, right? The lesser Yahweh. Okay, he was the one who came to Moses, right? He was the one who came to Moses, the lesser Yahweh, right? The angel. Yeah? I don't know. We getting there, like we getting there. The angel of the Lord. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now we're talking. Let me see if I can actually share something. Let's see if we can share. Boom, boom. I've got so much stuff written. Okay, Namus and Revelation. Let's see. Let's see if we've got something good in here. All right, let's go. Okay, so this is connected to the beginning of the statement. My name is with him, and our sages said that this is the angel Metatron, whose name is that of his master. Metatron is the numerical value of Shaddai. Okay, let me see if I can get something. Okay, so anyways, if you go through the Jewish teachings, Jewish teachings will tell you that the person that came, who has the name of the Lord, who is also called the Yahweh, but is known as the lesser Yahweh, he is known as the angel Metatron. Yeah, Metatron. He is the Logos, the Word itself, right? So the Lord of Moses, or the person who gave Moses the 10 Commandments and the laws and so forth and wrote it with his very fingers, was known as Metatron. If you go through the Jewish literature, you know that's who it is. Okay. Yeah, that's who it is. And there's so much stuff here, but I can't even be bothered to go through it all because it's long. Let's see if we've got something here. Let's see if we've got something here. Yeah. Okay, cool. Let's see. All right, cool. Yeah. All right, cool. So, from the Jewish point of view, is actually Metatron. Okay, but I'm not even happy with that, even though it fits just well. If we say it was Metatron, who actually came, it fits just well. Just fits just well. We say it's Metatron that came, but you know what? What he said? He said that Namus came. The Namus came. Should I tell you who the Namus was? Even though it is the law, right? But should I tell you who the Namus was in Christianity? Should I tell you who the Namus was? Let's go to it. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if I can do it for you. Let's see. Can I do it? Yes, I can. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Can I do it? Yes, I can. All right, let's go somewhere. Let's see if I can do Namus. Let's do this. Let's go. I'm going to do something that everybody can get a hold of. Go to Namus as a medium of revelation paralleling Logos in anti-Nicene Christianity. All right. Cool. If you really want to know who the Namus is, you're going to have to go into Christian literature. You're going to have to go into anti-Nicene Christian literature, such as the lost preachings of Peter, and you'll find out who the Namus is. All right, let's see if I can actually maximize this screen a little bit more so we can actually do some reading. Zoom, 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 zoom. All right, let's go. Okay. All right. In the beginning was the law. So this is from E. Luther Copeland, It says, in the beginning was the law, and the law was with God, and the law was God, and the law became flesh and dwelt amongst us, full of grace and truth. What if there had been in the New Testament such a statement identifying Jesus of Nazareth with the eternal law, Nomos, as there is John 1 to 1:14, identifying him with the eternal word Logos. The idea is not as remote as it may appear at first glance, because there are passages in the post-biblical literature of the early church where Jesus Christ is in fact identified with Nomos, though not in the bold ontologic cadence of the Johannine prologue. It is the thesis of this paper that in anti-Nicene Christianity, there was the beginning of an apologetic whereby nomos was used as an interpretive principle to enhance the understanding of the universal meaning of Jesus of Nazareth, paralleling the usage of logos with similar motivations. But that this nomos strand of apologetic, unlike that associated with logos, remain undeveloped. Before pursuing this thesis, however, it may be appropriate to ask whether nomos was in any way qualified or utilized was qualified for utilization along with logos as a medium for the cosmic interpretation of the Christ? An affirmative answer, yes, seems to be indicated, as at least tentatively, because the nomos concept was quite prominent and bore universal connotation both in the Bible and in Greek. All right. So what this is saying, yeah, like we'll have to go into the whole thing. Yeah, it's basically saying that in the early days of Christianity, before 300 AD, we're talking about the 1st century, 2nd century, 3rd century. Yeah, what was happening? Jesus Christ was also known not simply as the Logos, but he was known as the Nomos. He was both the Word and the Law, right? Both the Word and the Law. Let's see if I can actually pull up some source text for that real quickly. Give me a second. Let's see if I can pull up some source text. So I can put up some source text. Give me a sec. Okay, Clement Stromata. Okay, let's go to Clement Stromata. What we're doing, book 1? Yeah, let's go to book 1. Cool. And let's see if we can maximize the screen yet again so you guys can see it. Cool. Nice. All right, let's go all the way down to the bottom. All right. Okay. All right. I'm gonna start reading. Nah, it's. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm tired of reading, but it's you're gonna catch the context properly if I read from here. Similar, also demonstration from the resources of erudition, strengthen, confirm, and establish demonstrative reasons insofar as men's minds are in a wavering state like young people's. The good commandment, then according to the scripture, is a lamp, and the law is a light to the path. 4. Instruction corrects the way of life. Law is monarch of all, both of mortals and of immortals, says Pindar. I understand, however, by these words him who enacted law, and I regard as spoken of the God of all, the following utterance of Hesiod, though spoken by the poet at random, and not with comprehension, for the Saturnian framed for men this law. Fishes and beasts, the wings, birds may eat each other, since no rule of right is theirs, but right by far the best to men he gave. I know that's a little something, but I'm going to skip to where we need to get to. All right, here we go. Whether then it be the law, which is connate and natural, or that given afterwards, which is meant, it is certainly of God, and both the law of nature and that of instructions are one. Thus also Plato in the Statesman says that the lawgiver is one, and in the laws, that he who shall understand music is one, teaching by these words that the word is one, and God is one. And Moses manifestly calls the Lord a covenant. Behold, I am my covenant with thee, having previously told him not to seek the covenant in writing. For it is a covenant which God, the author for all, makes. For God is called from cases, placing, and order of arrangements. And in the preaching of Peter, you will find the Lord called law and word. But at this point, let our first miscellany of Gnostic notes, according to the true philosophy, come to a close. So again, we're seeing that the Lord is equated to not only the word, i.e. logos, he's also equated to the law itself, right here. Lord called law and word, all right? So I just want to get you there. I don't know if you lot are following me. You guys got to drop some comments in the comment sections and let me know if you're actually following me. Yeah. And I want to just drop a next one real quickly. Dialogue. There you go. Let's go. Little source text quickly. Little 1, 2 source text. Cool. Boom. This is some old school stuff. So this is Justin Martyr again, yeah. So again, we're talking first, well, no, this would be classified in second century. Second century, so like 100 and something, 115, 120. I can't really remember. But yeah, all right, cool. All right, let me quickly continue. Let's make this a little bit larger. All right. For in fact, I have read Typho, and there is to be both a final law and a disposition that is a superior to all others, which must now be observed by all those who claim to the inheritance of God. For the law given to Horeb. Okay, let me just quickly go here. For in fact, I have read Trifo that there is to be both a final law and a disposition that is superior. Okay, read here now. Yeah, this is what we're talking about. A final law, namely Christ himself. So whenever you see nomos being used, is also in reference to Christ. Okay, a little lower down and in section 4 and XLII, yeah, all of that, not Christ's words, e.g. the Sermon on the Mount. This is only definition fully congruent with Christianity, but elsewhere, just in regards Christ as the new legislator, continues, speaks of the new law of our Lord. Clement, we went to the Stromata earlier on, says that the lost preachings of Peter in the first, third, or the second century calls the Lord law and word. The phrase is an everlasting law, a disposition. Okay, so I just wanted to get you guys there yet to understand that when what's his name again? What was that guy's name? Waraka, yeah, calls whoever has come to Muhammad as the nomos, the law from Christianity. The nomos, yeah, is none other than Jesus. The nomos was indeed the angel of the Lord, Yahweh, the angelic name Metatron, who the Christians equate as the angel of the Lord being Jesus Christ himself. So right here, Waraka is saying that you're actually having a vision of Jesus Christ. No. I don't think you're even catching on, I don't think you're catching on. Waraka is saying, calling him the nomos. The nomos has come to you. The nomos in early Christian literature, yeah, is known as Jesus Christ. Aisha, in relating when Muhammad received his first revelation, calls this person the truth. Yet again, it's another appellation of Jesus Christ. If you're catching on or you're not catching on, I am the truth. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I don't know if you lot are catching on to this. The Quran itself, it doesn't start with read in the name of Allah, It says read in the name of your Lord. From a Christian context, mind you, Muhammad is associated with all Christians, With all Christians, Waraka, etc., etc., etc. He's gone to a Christian, tell him, like, what have I seen? The Lord. You got to tell me who's the Lord, You've got to tell me who is the Lord. Who is the truth? Who is this divine being? Well, you lot are not catching on. I don't even think you lot are even ready to hear this one, I don't think you lot are even ready to hear this one. I'm going to keep quiet from now onwards, you know that, because I don't think you lot are even ready. I don't even think you lot are actually ready. Because I don't think you guys are ready. Let me know if you guys are ready, innit? Let me know if you guys are ready. Because I don't think you guys are ready. You lot have to talk to me. You guys actually have to talk to me. Because if Waraka, this learned individual, yeah, now calls him, yeah, what he calls him, yeah, you guys have to start clocking on what's trying to be said here. I don't think you lot are clocking on. I don't think you lot are actually clocking on, to be honest with you. And you know why I know you're not even clocking on? Because if you was clocking on, yeah, you'll understand who actually sends prophets. With inside of Christian, thinking, do you know who sends prophets? I'm gonna drop it right here. Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from city to city, that upon you may be called the righteous bloodshed, blah, 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 blah. Very said unto you, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to continue. Who sends prophets? And if Muhammad is claiming to come after the lineage of all these great prophets, who sends the prophets? From a Jewish point of view, we all know that it's the angel of the Lord is the one that endows people to be prophets, and the Holy Spirit comes to rest upon them. And then the Christians identify this angel of the Lord being Jesus Christ. And Jesus Christ himself identifies himself as being the one who sends out prophets. It doesn't say the Most High or God. No, it says, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes. But again, yeah, you lot are not hearing, innit? You lot are too used to like the rubbish old stuff that you keep hearing from other people, you know. You don't even ready to actually hear what early Islam was actually teaching and what they were practicing. I'm gonna come off now, man. I'm gonna come off. What I'll do before I do come off though, yeah, is drop the link. Here you go, family tree. Come on in real quickly and talk with me before I keep it moving. Yeah? Come in here and talk to me. Yeah? Come in here and talk to me. Because I am not even making no claims. I'm just telling you what actually is said with inside of the hadiths, inside of the Quran, right? Inside of what these people actually said to Muhammad. Muhammad himself, calls it the truth. Muhammad himself calls him his Rabb, his Lord. Muhammad himself says it's a divine being that later on people couldn't even fathom what was going on here, because how do you see Allah? It couldn't possibly be Allah. We're going to say it's Gabriel, but how could it be Gabriel when it's now calling Muhammad the slave of this divine being? How could this be Gabriel? It's impossible to be Gabriel. Then he says he saw him sitting on a throne. The only angel that sits on a throne in heaven. I'm going to ask you this. Who is the only angel? Let's just pretend it's an angel. Let's just say it's an angel. Who is the only angel that sits on a throne in heaven? Most of you don't even know this. The only person that can sit on a throne in heaven who is an angelic being is Metatron. So if this truly is a vision, the only angel that can sit on the throne in heaven is Metatron. And we're saying it's an angel, it must be Metatron. It cannot be Gabriel. They don't have the authority and power to sit down. Then we say if it's another divine being, though this divine being is also equated to Metatron, in Christian literature, who is the only other being who sits near to God? Who is that being? The only other being who sits on the right hand of God, sits, not stands, sits. That means there is a throne, there is a sit right there that he has to sit on, is Jesus Christ. But y'all ain't hearing me though, because you don't even understand the logic of what sitting means. Sitting means that you have power and authority to sit on a throne. The power and authority to actually sit down is to actually judge people as well. Who is the only person that's said to be the judge of mankind? Y'all ain't catching me though. Y'all ain't catching me. Because y'all ain't even catching what David was saying in these Psalms, that the Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand, yeah, until I make your enemies my footstool. Y'all ain't catching it. Y'all ain't catching it, though. I'll keep quiet for now, though. I'll keep quiet for now, because y'all still ain't catching it. Anyways. Yeah. Malaraf said Enoch is Metatron, of course. There you go. Before there was a Jesus, to climb to the ranks of the level of Metatron, Enoch was the first one to climb to the ranks of Metatron, to sit on the office, to be merged, to what's the word? Um, apotheosize. Apotheosize. I believe it's apotheosize. Yeah. All right, Eretz Israel, come on in, my guy. Come on in. Come on in. Let's get it. Because I need to go in a minute. New Nomad, what are you saying to me, King?
What's going on? What's going on, Kalam? Can you hear me properly?
Yeah.
How you doing, bro?
I'm well, man.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to come in. First, I want to say big ups to you, bro. I've spoken to you a while back, a long time ago, and I've spoken to
Long time.
Sarah as well. Yeah, a long time ago. So, well, first of all, good to see you back, dropping that knowledge. You know what I mean? It's good. But I had a question for you, right? I myself, I'm a Somali man. I'm an ex-Muslim, and I run this little channel called Free Somali Minds, right? And I had a question for you
Mhm,
because you always go very deep into the details of the scholarship of it, right?
mhm.
My question to you, Kalam, is how many people do you think have the appetite for that level of scholarship? And the reason why I'm saying that, honestly, is that the amount of conversation that I've had on my channel, mostly with Somalis, right? They approach this thing like a tribalistic way. It's not about knowledge, man. I'll be honest with you, man. Like I left the Deen of Islam after I read the Quran and the Hadith. So anyone wants to remain Muslim, I would say don't read your scriptures. You know what I mean? Stay in that. That's what I would say. So I wanted to get your point on that, if you will, bro.
Yeah, you're quite right. I don't think many people do have the appetite for scholastic information. It's easier to just sit down and listen to the rocking to sleep religious propaganda. It's easier to digest.
Right, right.
Um, but to fully go into detail and depth, like for example, we've gone through a few things today, right?
Hmm.
But if we were to really go through it from an academic point of view, we would be having to pull up one hadith. But because that one hadith has been repeated so many times, we have various variants of it. We have
Right.
offshoots of it. We now have, we can see that there is apologetics that's now creeped into it. Because let's say, then, you know, Christians or Jews or somebody else is listening to these hadiths and saying, oh, that don't sound right. Da-da-da-da-da.
Hmm.
It will change it and tweak it a certain way. And now we got to go back and find what was the original, what was the message behind that, what was trying to be said. So
Hmm.
that takes a long time, and
It
most
does.
people don't even care for that. Just give me the simple version that I can digest. You know what, Bonnet? We're on TikTok now. We're dealing with TikTok generation. So give me something I can digest in 30 seconds or less.
That's it. That's how it's gonna go, right? That's how it's gonna go. We don't have long attention spans, right? We're in the Instagram, TikTok generation, so we got to be able to. So my approach, honestly, and I just wanted to share this with you, but my approach, right? And I had said this before, but to my Somali people, right? When I say Islam is really just it came out of the Arabian Peninsula, and it's for Arabs really. There's even a surah in the Quran that says, had we not revealed this in Arabic, you wouldn't understand, right? And I'm like, well, we're Somalis. I don't speak Arabic. Like, who is that specific surah talking to, right? And
Mm,
obviously, you'll get a lot of limbo dancing, right, around it. But what I try to do is kind of uncouple whenever I say it's an Arab religion, they'll always tell me, no, 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 this has nothing to do with Arabs, right? Islam has nothing to do with Arabs, right? But then I'm like, okay, so then can we also say it has nothing to do with Somalis? And then they flip. They're like, no, 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 it's very Somali. And I'm like, that as comedic and as simple as that sounds right now, bro,
mm,
it's frustrating uncoupling an Arabic tradition, a
mm,
deified culture that is Islam,
that's
right,
right.
from my Somali culture, which is rich on its own, doesn't
That's right.
need any crutches, right? We
That's
go
right.
way back, man. Somalis go way back. Somalis are very ancient people, and we lost sight of that, right? And that's what I'm trying to trying to revive in my, at least I'm trying to, get to as many people as I can, and at least stream, on a weekly basis. But it's very hard for my people to understand that if you cannot say this is not an Arabic thing and then claim it to be a Somali thing. It's just very backwards.
Yep.
And so I try to I try to really display it as lame as possible, as really as simply as possible. For example, right now we're in the month of Ramadan.
Mhm.
Ramadan, how many most Somali Muslims, or even Muslims in general, do you think know that Ramadan existed and fasting existed prior to Islam, the advent of Islam, quote unquote, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, so that one up there is my channel, Free Somali Minds. Somali Free Thinkers is another one of my friends, but yeah, that's the one that I run, right?
Mhm.
And I try to at least have these conversations in a cordial way, because I'll be honest with you, once you first wake up to the reality of Islam, you get pissed off, man. I'm not gonna lie. You feel like you've been lied to, you feel betrayed, you feel all kinds of things like that, you know what I'm saying? But once you go beyond that, it's different. It's different. It's kind of like now I just, because I love my people, man, and my Somali people are still gonna be my blood and my DNA, right? So I try to just have a conversation. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna believe the same things as you, but you should be okay with that, right? That's essentially the baseline of my. So of course I get threats and I get, but I'm also seeing a lot of people just willing to have that conversation. I'm not sure if the same with you, but I am seeing a lot of people having the will, or at least the maturity, to have
Mhm.
that conversation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
And let me
yeah.
just, implore others to please, go check out Free Somali Minds, right? There it is, right there. So don't tell me, oh, Cal, please send me the link. No, you can see it. It's in the search bar. Free
Thank you for that.
Somali
Thank you for that.
Minds. Right
Yeah.
now, I want to see by the end of this particular stream, it's gone over 500 subscribers, right? It should have gone over 500 subscribers. Come on, family.
Uh,
Hit the subscribe button, show some love and show some support.
Thank you so much for that, Kalam. Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's I'll be told that Somalia is one of the first people that, it's like, I mean, it's like a marathon to see my Somali people do a marathon to over Arab, like, overpower their Arabness from the Arabs. Like they claim to be more Arabic than the Arabs. It's just funny. And I tell them, if you look at history and anthropologically, like, Arabs are our descendants. If I'm from the Horn of Africa, man, which is, if you look at, the way history is set up, that's where, life was born, man. You know what I mean? Like that's where life originates from. So I'm just kind of trying to see how people, or at least, the Somali people, to actually just grasp that concept. I feel like they're always behind, and I've seen you actually put me on. I want to give you your flowers right now, Kalam, because you put me on to Speaker's Corner
Mhm.
very, very, very early on. Very, very. There used to be another dude there that's called the Black Atheist. I'm not sure if you know that, but
Yeah.
hey, back in those days, and you would have these content, and I'm like, oh, that's great. People are actually talking about these things, and then, because at that point I thought I was the only one that had right, that had these thoughts, right? And then when I saw that, I actually started following, your channel, and I got to know. I even get to talk to Ahmed, Ahmed there, that you guys spoke to,
Okay.
and Sarah. So I spoken to people from Speaker's Corner since then. So I want to thank you for that, Kalam. That's I'm all the way in Canada, by the way. So
I
it's
love
funny how technology connects people nowadays. You know what I mean?
That's
So
it. That's
yeah,
it.
bro.
That's is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
Right.
Jeez.
There's someone that just said, Diddy says Somalis are not descendants of Arab. I said the exact contrary.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the comments, I didn't say Somalis are descendants of Arabs. I said Arabs are descendants of Somalis. If we were to break things down like that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There you
But
go. There
yeah,
you. There you go. Tell it how it is.
yeah, man.
Tell it how
So
it is. Let's
yeah,
get let's get back to the glory days where the Arabs were looking up at the East Africans. All right.
yeah, right.
That was the pinnacle of high society and culture back in the day. But somehow it twisted things around and got Somalis and other East Africans looking up to them. Don't know how that
Yeah.
happened. Actually, I do
If
know.
you look at the Quran, and I think there's someone I was watching someone make this breakdown, and if you look at the Quran, the amount of Ethiopic, it's classified as Ethiopic language or words that are used in the Quran is up to, I think, in the, I don't know, like a lot of it, like 196 times or something like that. I think it was a higher percentage of Ethiopic. Come to know, there was a lady that would take care of Muhammad and stayed with him all the way to his death, and she was Ethiopian or Habasha, right?
That's right.
And there was a lot of Habashi, and since when they went to go see Negus, for the first Hijrah, they had access to East Africa, and the East African culture was very, very
Do you,
in there.
do you
Even
know
like,
do you know
go ahead.
the only two language that's recorded of Muhammad speaking? Do you want to know what those two languages are?
What are they?
Arabic and Ethiopic.
There you go.
That's the only two languages that this
Listen,
man spoke.
there you go.
If we started looking more to the Ethiopian side of things,
Hmm.
you will start to understand the Quran a little bit more better.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of things in there that we just brush over because we don't understand. It's an Ethiopian context. I think
Uh,
one of our next shows we're going to talk about. I think we'll talk about the Ethiopian or slash Abyssinian contact with Muhammad from a child. From
hmm hmm Yeah, that
Did
would be super interesting. Actually, that would be super interesting.
did you know that it's recorded inside of their literature that the Abyssinians, I don't want to say kidnapped, but I'm going to use the word kidnap.
Hmm.
Kidnapped Muhammad as a child and took him to Ethiopia. That's what it says in the
Huh.
literature. Can you
Well,
imagine?
I can imagine that. I can imagine that.
They took him to their king. They took him to their king. That's what it says. Wow.
That's crazy. So even another small little anecdote, because I gotta go. I wish I could stay longer. I gotta go. But we Somalis, or even the Oromos, even the Cushitic bloodline, right? So that's Afars, Beshas, Somalis, Oromos. They used to worship a deity called Waq, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And Waq is actually mentioned in the Hadiths, and the name it's given is a protector, the protector, like Waq, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of there's I mean, looking just by proximity, you can see that there's going to be influences. When the Cushitic Empire actually had the southern of Arabia, the Arabian Peninsula, there's a lot of exchanges of cultures, obviously, right? It's
Mm.
just sad that my people don't ever see that they've had an effect on the world, and they only see themselves as being affected upon. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that messes with the psyche of a human being, and that's at least what I that's my hope, is to try and change that for my people. But look, thank you so much for putting up my page, Kalam. I really appreciate you, bro, and I hope that we have more conversations, and maybe you can come over sometime to Free Somali Minds, and we can talk about WAP and East African, because you did a lot of information on that, man.
Yeah, definitely. I would
Yeah,
love to. Just email me and I'll come true.
absolutely.
All right,
Once
King.
again, thanks a lot, Kalam, and peace out, bro.
Peace. Peace, peace, peace. Jeez. Oh, man. Hey, listen. Listen. He touched on something, He touched on something. I would love. Let me see if I've got it somewhere. Let me see if I've got it. Because that's another show that we can do. Um, let's see. No, I don't know what to do. Um, yeah. Yeah, we can do it. We can touch on that, because he was talking about, what these deities, these East African deities, yeah. Ha, ha. Again, don't shoot me. Yeah, don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger, right? WAC, yeah, is WAQ. Um, did you know? Yeah, did you know? Did you know? Bro, let me know you get myself into trouble. I'll get myself into trouble for saying this. Okay, no, did you know though? Yeah, it was said I don't want to say Muhammad worshipped, although it was said, yeah, in the years of ignorance, how true it is or how not true it is, yeah, it's up to you, and it's up to you. Yeah, Ga'iz would be the Ethiopic that they talk about. Um, there was this Ethiopian deity, you know, known as Al-Uzza. Supposedly, Muhammad was, they're worshipping this deity, and most of the Arabs worship this Ethiopian deity, who is actually an Egyptian deity known as Isis. You know, we could go in. Let's just start going into that. The impact that Ethiopia had on Arabia. We should go into that. I'll be real with you. I'll actually be real with you. We should go into that, because come to find out, what people think is a Muslim empire or an Arabic empire, it wasn't. It was actually an Ethio-Arab empire. That's a story for another day. I've dropped this knowledge already. I've dropped the knowledge that you see all of these, caliphs and so forth, they were of Ethiopian ancestry or East African ancestry. I've dropped all this before, but sometimes, we don't know. We don't know. Sometimes we don't even know that during the years of when Muhammad supposedly was alive, all that area, Arab area, was part of the Ethiopian Empire. When do you get taught that? When do you actually get taught that? That Arabia was part of Ethiopia, was under Ethiopian rulership. You don't get taught this, do you? But that's a story for another day. When we're ready, we might just jump on that tomorrow, inshallah, if I have time in it, and we carry on the Ramadan series. But so far, we've touched upon what we touched on. Yeah, Alat, Al-Uzza, and Manat, as well as Hubal. And Hubal, Shezmu Part Batak Amun. So we know Al-Uzza is said to be Isis, right? I'm just making these claims without even showing no evidence. I ain't got time for evidence today, because this show is to do with the revelation or the vision of Muhammad, right? Comment on Egypt is a topic. Yeah. So we know that Al-Uzza is Isis, right? Don't believe me? Type in Uzza, Isis, and Aphrodite. It should come up. Might come up. Then we know that Hubal equates to Khunum, yeah, the ram-headed deity. Yeah, that is so much. You have to really get into it to find out what was going on. This admixture of Christianity, Judaism, Kemetic information. It's a lot still. It's a lot. But anyway, family tree. Yeah, I'm trying to close down the show. If you guys got anything else that you would like to talk about, yeah, talk to me. Let me drop you the link, because I'm going very shortly. Kalam Goffel says, "Stop hating yourself." That one, I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to explain that one. Talk to me what that means. When you wake up and do your own research, says this one, Egypt and Ethiopia are synonymous in the Bible, says Rome Demon. I need all that Ethiopian Islamic stuff, says Razan Shakur. Jeez, my man's at the British Museum, Hey, I love that. That is one of my best places right there. Ibn Ishaq, Kalam, it would be interesting to see the links between Southern Arabia, Yemen, Sudan, Ethiopia. There was definite migrations between these areas. Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah. I love. Yeah. You know that there is this new search into where Mecca was. Yeah. And I always wonder, like, because they try to place Mecca all the way up in the Jordan Petra regions. Yeah. I always wonder, why don't they actually go into like East Africa and see what was going on there? Because there was a Mecca in East Africa. So why don't everybody look over in East Africa and see what's going on in East Africa? They call it Makoria, but that's the Greek, you know, the IA is to say a landmass, right? But they would have called it Makkah. Like, why don't nobody go up there and say, like, right, there's a Makkah there as well, you know, which is directly parallel. I mean, like, you know, because it's on this side. You've got Mecca, where there's nothing there. It's on this side of the thing. But on the other side, directly opposite, you have Makkah or Makoria. Like, why don't nobody say, all right, let's go there and have a look to see what's going on? It's curious. It's curious. It's curious. I always wonder. Yeah. So yeah, they claim it's in Petra. But again, when you go and do your readings, you find that there is so many different Kaabas. Yeah, so many different Kaaba. Why is the Kaaba this one in Mecca? Like, why? No, that's the story for another day. I don't want to get too political. Let me know when we get too political, because people are even on that level. Yeah, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. We're just catching some jokes. Again, I'm about to sign off, you know. So do you not have anything that you want to say? Man said it's too black, for real. Yeah, a set was mind blowing. Yeah. I should pull up some information on that, you know. Can I? Let me see if I can. Give me a second. That's when you have to go to the other computer. Come off the work computer and go onto where you give people the work computer. Let's see. If I type in Uzza, let's see what we have. Let's see my notes section. Let's see. Okay. So yeah, if you go to a book by Jane Taylor on page 106, okay, I'm just dropping it to you. I can't show it to you right now because it's on my other computer. Yeah, and I'm just looking at it right now. So if you want to see it, you go on to Jane Taylor's, what did I just say? Let me see. Okay, Jane Taylor. Okay, Petra and the Lost Kingdom of the Nabateans. Okay, Petra and the Lost Kingdom of the Nabateans by Jane Taylor, page 106. Okay, and in there she identifies Al-Uzza with Isis. It says here, the Greek Aphrodite and Aphrodite's assimilation with Al-Uzza would suggest that this temple was dedicated to the great goddess of Petra in her identification with Isis, either alone or jointly with Dushara, identified with Osiris. Okay, again, and Aphrodite's assimilation with Al-Uzza would suggest that this temple was dedicated to the great goddess of Petra in her identification with Isis, either alone or jointly with Dushara. Dushara is another Arab deity that was identified with Osiris. Is Dushara in the Quran? I can't remember. Is Dushara in the Quran? I'm sure Dushara is in the Quran. Let me just double check quickly. Dushara, Quran. Let's see, another. Okay, so let me share screen so you can see what I'm doing actually. Okay, boom. Okay, all right. Alat, also spelled Alat and Aliyat, is a pre-Islamic Arabian goddess worshipped by the inscriptions, called her and Al-Uzza the brides of Dushara. Okay, Dushara. There's man like Dushara right there, also transliterated as Dusaris. Oh, there you go. See, Osiris, Dusaris, makes sense. Is a pre-Islamic Arabian god worshipped by the Nabateans of Petra and Madain and Saleh. Safavic inscriptions imply he was the son of Alat and that he assembled in the heavens with other gods. He is called Dushara from Petra. In one inscription, Dushara was expected to bring justice if called by the correct ritual. Okay. Dushara is known first from epigraphic Nabatean sources, who never spelled the name Dusor, the Nabatean script, denoting only consonants. He appears in classical Greek sources and in Latin as Dusaris. The original meaning is disputed, but early Muslim historians Ibn Kalbi, in his book of Idols, explained that the name Zul al-Shara meaning likely the one from Shara, Shara being a mountain range southeast of the Dead Sea. In this interpretation, if this interpretation is correct, Shara would be more of a title than a proper name, but both the exact form of the name and its interpretations are disputed. Okay, and it goes on. In Greek times, he was associated with Zeus because he was chief of the Nabateans pantheon, as well as with Dionysus. Oh, okay. Very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. A little bit of knowledge there for you. A little bit of knowledge. Do I have a link for Muhammad speaking Ethiopian? Yeah, I think it's in the Encyclopedia of Islam. Give me a sec. Let me see. Again, let's see, Ethiopic. Just type this in. I love the way I just have Muhammad speaking Ethiopic. Okay. So that's Bukhari. Okay, I know it's in the Islamic Encyclopedia. But if you wanted to see him speaking certain words, if you go to Bukhari, Volume 9, Book 88, number 187. Bukhari, Volume 9. I repeat, Bukhari, Volume 9, Book 88, number 187. And you can also find it in 186. Saying things in the Ethiopic language. But that's just him saying certain words in the Ethiopic. But inside of the Islamic Encyclopedia, he speaks of Muhammad speaking Ethiopic. The two languages he spoke was Ethiopic and Arabic. Let me see. Geese. Let me see if I do. I'm sure it says that. Why can't I find it in my text though? I want to find. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's a quote for you. But if you go into the Islamic Encyclopedia, you might have to search on the Ethiopic. That's where you might have to search Ethiopic, and then you'll see the citation in there. Okay. We've got like 25 more days of Islam, bro. So come back. Yeah. I don't even know if I can keep up with it, I don't even know. It's long, it's long. You're not gonna have to give me topics. You're gonna have to give me some topics to speak on, because the Ramadan bit is literally Muhammad having his experience, going to the cave, having his experience, Waraka telling him what it is, and so forth. There's little hidden gems in there, but you're not gonna have to tell me. Okay. Text says Muhammad saw a demon. I'm confusing Mecca with Mecca. No, I'm not confusing Mecca with Mecca at all. Kalam, good show, always bringing the knowledge from a scholarly angle. Let's go. There you go. Where did the black stone come from, and what does it represent? Who knows? Who knows where the black stone comes from? It said it came from. It's like a meteorite. It's a meteorite, and Arabs back in the day they loved exotic stones, and they will set them up as Baitals, which means like abode of the gods, basically. So it would be representation. So if you go back into like Roman literature, Latin, Greek, Roman literature, you'll find that the Arabs always like had stones and set them up as things of worship, because they represented the deity, or they represented God himself. There you go. Man, like Terry Riggs up in the building. What's good? Jeez. Okay. Jeez. You have to drop that Mecca is in East Africa and not Petra. Do you know what? Yeah. I can't. I hear it. Yeah. I can't even. I can't even. I can't even. I can present a Makoria, right? Or a Makor. Okay. That could be a Makor. Saying, you know, we could say, oh, there's a similarity there, and so forth. But to say it's the same thing, I'm just saying, like, why don't people actually, you know, if they're looking for a Mecca, like a place called Mecca, or whatever the case is, they've gone to Petra and so forth, right? But what's about, you know, other places that has similar names? Because sometimes they go via similar names or whatever the case is. Why haven't we gone there? There is a lot of history that took place within that region that actually coordinates with it. But yeah, I wouldn't present an information because you know what? Yeah, most of the information to do with Mecca, yeah, is legendary. It is legendary. Yeah, I'm gonna drop this soon though. Okay, what do I mean by it's legendary? Let me drop it. What do I mean by it's legendary? Like, we know that Muhammad preached for 23 years via tradition. I'm not going to tell you it's true, and I'm not going to tell you it's false. If I'm not going to tell you it's true, I'm not going to tell you it's false, right? But all of these numbers, yeah, all of these numbers are not even real numbers, i.e., historical accurate numbers. What they are not mythical, metaphorical numbers. For example, Muhammad receiving his revelation at the age of 40 is one of those symbolic numbers. It's not real, right? And then, you know, he spent 3 years in hiding of the revelation, or whatever the case is, right? Right? So we got 3 years. So out of the 23 years, 3 years spent in hiding of it. Then he spent 10 years. Imagine this, the equal numbers, 10 years in Mecca and then 10 years in Medina. It sounds a little bit too perfect for me. Sounds way too perfect for me. Way too perfect. Then when you realize the politics that was going on, and we realize these were rivaling communities / destinations, and one is trying to make themselves be more important than the other one. One is trying to make Mecca sound more important, the other one's trying to make Medina sound more important. Like, you realize that it's just a lot of like fictitious stuff that's just made up. And then you realize that at a later stage, they changed prayer, the direction of prayer, over to Mecca, when originally it was towards Jerusalem. Oh yeah, you don't even, when you go into the real history, and then you have to go into the history of the Black Stone and how the Black Stone was taken, and like, when you go into the history, fam, I don't even know about this Mecca and these places again, you know. This is just a fabulous legends and stories that's just being told. But anyways, let me not be too pessimistic. Anyway, family tree, what are we saying? Can you do a lecture on Islamic and perhaps Ethiopic heraldry from the Saracens, etc.? Can you do a lecture on Islamic heraldry from the Saracens era? Can you do a lecture on Islamic heraldry from the Saracen era? Chai. Talk to me. What do you classify the Saracen era? Because the Greeks were calling them Saracens from like 300 AD. So we're going all the way back then, or we're going to the time where Europeans were in contact with them and started calling them Saracens as well. We have to get to you have to give me a little time in history, you know, and we could do that. Yep. Satan shape-shifting down the ages, snares were said, Yeshua is Lord. Yep. It was white as snow, but sin of man turned it black. Yep. That too. Please give us information about the black stone. We definitely need it. Yeah. Okay. We do shows on that. We've done some shows on that before, you know. Done some shows on that before. Well, yeah. So anyway, today's shows, let me just round up real quickly. Today's show, we went through the vision of Muhammad. The vision of Muhammad. We have the vision recorded within inside of the Quran twice. Surah 53, I believe, discusses the twice that Muhammad saw a divine being. He referred to that divine being as Lord. He referred to that divine being as the truth, al-haq, right? We also see that Waraka identified this being as the Namus, meaning the law. Western scholars attribute that to be the God of Moses who gave him the law, which is Yahweh. But we all know the God of Moses who gave him the law was the angel of the Lord, who Yahweh put his name in, and in Jewish scripture he's called the lesser Yahweh, and also known as his angelic name as Metatron. Christians refer to this individual as well as Jesus, or the Logos, the pre-incarnated form of Jesus, which is very interesting. But that's the Western scholarship. But if we read exactly what Waraka said, he called him the Nomos. But most people don't read ante-Nicene church fathers, meaning the early church fathers. And if you read the early church fathers, you will really understand what Waraka was saying. Waraka wasn't just simply saying the God of the law of Moses. No, he was saying the law. And who was referred to as the law, the nomos? It was the logos, i.e., Jesus, his pre-incarnated form, or his angelic form, or his spiritual divine form is called the nomos or the logos. So what we're saying is Waraka identified the being who sits on a throne, who refers to himself as the Lord, who is the instructor of men, who is the creator of men, who is all these other terms. I can't remember what the blessing, the generous, the kind, something along those lines. All of these things, he identified that, right? Yeah, because the only being that sits on a throne in the Christian mind is Jesus Christ. Right? He identified that person as the nomos, i.e., Jesus Christ. We went back into the early church fathers and we saw that there is a history of Jesus being called the nomos. We find that in Justin. We find that Justin Martyr, sorry. We find that in the Stromata by Clement of Alexandria. Right? There's a few other texts as well, but we didn't really go into all of them. Right? So we see that. We see it. This is who Waraka identified Muhammad's Lord as being, who is given revelation. Because, the only person that sends out prophets according to the scriptures, according to Matthew, according to Luke, is going to be the Logos, the Nomos, the Sophia. It is Jesus Christ himself. Jesus Christ himself says, I send prophets, scribes, and all these other things, right? So all I'm saying is sometimes if you really want to understand these scriptures, is not read it from an Islamic point of view, read it from what it actually says, right? And read it as what are the audience, who are the audience members? Keep in mind, when you're reading these texts, who are the audience members, who is the author, and what is the message the author is trying to get across? And most people don't even realize the author is trying to get across the message that Muhammad is receiving revelations from Jesus, blood clot Christ. Can you imagine, Can you imagine? Hey, no Muslim wants to hear this though, But I would ask a Muslim, argue it with me. Argue it. Tell me, yeah. If it's not Jesus Christ, right? Or the pre-incarnate or the Logos himself, yeah. If it's not the Logos, yeah, that divine being, if it's not that divine being, who is it? And the only other person you could say is Gabriel. But we already read the forward of Tabari, and Tabari says, it cannot be Gabriel, because Gabriel was never there before anyway. That is a later interpolation, number one. Number two, yeah, this being calls Muhammad or whoever's receiving the revelation, he's slave. How can Muhammad be a slave of Gabriel? Gabriel is meant to be a slave of Allah. So now the slave of Allah has a slave in Muhammad. It doesn't make no sense. It's a divine being that's been referred to here. Oh, this is where you have a problem now. This is where we have a problem. Because, and this is where Christians will have a problem as well, not realizing that early Islam was a Christian movement. That's what it was. Nothing more, nothing less. Later on, it became its own religion. And it became diametrically opposed to Christianity and Judaism. But in its early days, it was a Christian religion. Mixed in, or from the milieu of Judaism, Christianity, and Hermetic / philosophy, wisdom on Gnosticism. Not even. I wouldn't even say Gnosticism. I would say apocryphal Christian knowledge. What I mean by apocryphal Christian knowledge, so you have like the Gospel of Thomas and so forth. That's not Gnostic. It's not Gnostic. It's just stuff that Syrian church and other churches and other people like this is if you go to Syrian churches and Egyptian and Ethiopian churches, they have these gospels. They read all of these other stuff that Western Christianity don't. That's the only difference. So if you understood Eastern Christianity and you read early church fathers and then you read the Quran, you'd be like, the Quran is just paraphrasing all of this. It's literally paraphrasing early church fathers, early Judaic literature, early Christian literature. That's all it's doing. It's literally a Christian book. But you ain't going to see it though. You ain't going to see it until you actually start studying Christianity outside of the Western context. Anyways, who we got here? It's okay. Talk to me before I go.
Yo, what's good, man?
Yeah, my brother. All good.
Yo, big up you and your show, man. Doing good. Like academia, I like it.
Come on.
What do you think about the idea that maybe Jibril is telling him that because he's speaking on God's behalf, right?
In this instance, it's not Jibril. We've already discounted that it's not Jibril. Continue.
Because he said he's a slave, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm saying if he's speaking on behalf of God, he's obviously not saying he's his slave. He's talking on behalf of God, innit?
Okay. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Let me bring it up first so we can see it.
Yeah, please. Because I like to look at it objectively, innit?
Yeah. Let's see. Share that. Okay, so here we go. Okay. So yeah, by the star when it sets, your comrade neither errs nor is deceived, nor does he speak from his own fancy. It is not but a revelation revealed, which one of mighty powers taught him, a vigorous one. He grew clear to view while being on the uppermost horizon. Then he drew near and came down till he was 2 bows' length or nearer, and revealed to his slave what he revealed. So you're saying that this
is the story of the cave?
It possibly could be. They've equated it to the cave, yeah. Okay. So they're saying that this being, who is mighty in powers, okay, while being on the uppermost horizon, then he drew near and came down and revealed to his slave what he revealed. So you're saying that this could be Gabriel being, and Gabriel is Muhammad's slave.
Is this Gabriel? Who's talking to Muhammad right here?
This is a revelation.
There's a Quranic verse.
Yeah, this is a Quranic verse. Surah 53, verse 1 to 8.
So this is supposedly God talking.
So I can, we can say that. We can say that. I'm not going to say it's God speaking, but it's a revelation. That's what I would say. So the revelation is swearing by the star when it sets. Yeah, your friend. Yeah. So it's now speaking to. Okay, remember we have to keep in mind the author, the audience, and the message. So it's now saying your comrade.
So who's the audience at this point? We're saying your comrade.
Whoever Muhammad is now speaking to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Your comrade, i.e., Muhammad, neither is nor is deceived, nor does he speak from his own fancy. It is naught but a revelation revealed, which one of mighty powers taught him, a vigorous one. He grew clear to view while being on the uppermost horizon. Then he drew near and came down. So this person was in heaven, and then he came closer down to earth. Yeah. And revealed to his slave what he revealed. The heart lied not in seeing what it saw. Will you dispute with him concerning what he sees?
Oh, is that next page?
It continues, and there's another time now. Indeed, he saw him yet another time by the lot tree of the uttermost boundary, near which is the garden of abode. When the lot tree was strangely shrouded, the eye turned not aside, nor yet was overbold. He saw one of the greatest signs of his Lord.
Sorry, what is overbold?
Overbold. Okay. The eye turned not aside, nor yet was overbold. Jeez. You ask, you ask, hey, we're going to go to overbold for the definition, right?
Yeah, please.
I've got an understanding what it is, but for real, that language is a bit too much. Let's see, overbold, excessively bold.
The eye turned, or you like wide open or something? Wide open?
Meaning like it wasn't. Hold on, where am I? Yeah, meaning like
intensely looking or something.
Like, yeah, the eye turned not aside, nor yet was overbold. Like, how can I put it? Like,
is this talking about two? I'm assuming it's talking about eye contact right now.
Yeah.
So whoever's looking at whoever wasn't really staring at them, but also wasn't like looking away from them either.
Exactly. So I'm not like ding 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 or like
kind of calm. Okay. All right. If you go back to the first page, I wanted to ask who's the go back to it so I can.
Yeah.
Then he drew near and came down till he was distant. So when it says and revealed to his slave, who's the his here?
It would be this particular being who is mighty of powers.
Mighty of power taught him, a vigorous one, and grew clear to view while being on the uppermost horizon. Then he drew near. He here is the same his, yeah? He drew near. Okay, he drew near and came down till he was distant. Or is that he Muhammad or he?
No.
The same he.
Being who descended downwards.
Okay, 2 bows length or nearer, and revealed to his slave what he revealed. Okay.
So early
Muslims saying this is who?
Okay, so early Muslims took this to be a divine being, i.e., Allah Himself, right? Yeah. And then it was changed to being Gabriel.
Okay.
But then Waraka. So
wait, don't Muslims say that is Allah? Don't they? Because I've heard Muslims say that Allah came down to the two, because I've heard from Speaker's Corner itself from Muslims, saying that 2 bows length or nearer. He's talking about God, innit?
Yeah. So if you go into Islam Q&A, yeah, I should have this anyway. I should. Let me just see if I do. Give me a second. There is this debate here of who it actually is.
By the way, while you're searching that,
Mhm.
there was a question I wanted to ask you about the Islamic research you do.
Mhm.
What is it mainly from? Because obviously there's like a lot of different types of Muslims in that.
What is it from? I don't get it.
Yeah, which version of Muslim is it from? Like,
Okay. Which
I'll tell
version?
you, I'm personally I'm interested in Islam, innit? And
Yeah.
I've been looking to go into it and stuff.
So
I'm
the
more
majority,
interested.
yeah,
Yeah,
the majority of the stuff is not Shia Islam.
that's what I'm more interested in personally.
Oh, you want Shia Islam stuff?
Are you gonna be doing shows that contrast with that?
We can do. We can do. There just hasn't been any requests for Shia stuff.
Oh, here's my request, bro. Here's my request. Like,
Alright. Give me a specific topic and we can go into some Shia stuff because I miss Shia stuff.
yeah. You know what? I'll think of the topics that are that are on my mind and stuff. And next time I come, I'll tell you what topics I find most interesting personally.
Drop it in this comment section, right? So when you go back to this
Yeah.
video, drop it in this comment section, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
we can get it cracking.
Not the live comments, on the like comments, innit?
No, not the live comments. The after the show's
Yeah.
comments. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So there is a whole thread, right? Sugar. Yeah, there's a whole thread on this about who it was. Yeah, who it was. Do I not have? I don't even have the source on here. Why not? Why do I not have the source? It's mad. Okay, let me just quickly show you. Let me quickly show you. Give me a second, so we can share screen. Okay, share screen. Boom. Chrome tab. Okay. All right. Cool. So. Okay, cool. Okay, in view of these reasons, apparently there was no grounds for the dispute whether the Holy Prophet on both these occasions had seen Almighty or the angel Gabriel. But the reason that given rise to this dispute is that the tradition of the Hadith differs on this question. Below, we reproduce in their sequence the Hadith reported from the different companions in this regard. Now, I'm upset because I'm sure this comes from Islamic Q&A or something like that, yeah, that is now given the breakdown of all of this. So they realize that inside of Islam, there is like opposing views, right? Whether this is Allah himself or whether it's an angel, specifically the angel Gabriel. Okay. And it gives...
Wait, which where are you reading, sorry?
Okay. So in view of these reasons,
Oh, yeah.
apparently there were no grounds for the dispute whether the Holy Prophet on both these occasions had seen Allah Almighty or the angel Gabriel. But the reason that has given rise to this dispute is that the tradition of Hadith differ on this question. Below we reproduce in their sequence the Hadith that have been reported from different companions in this regard. Okay? So different companions are basically saying, no, it's Allah. No, it's the angel Gabriel. And so forth.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I can't be bothered. I honestly cannot be bothered to read out all of this because it's long.
I hear you. But if you can share the link, I'll hold it and I'll
I
read.
have a link, so I'm going to Google it. I'm sure this is coming from... this might just be the comment. Okay, no. Maybe I have actually got the link. The way I'm just bypassing this, like this is not the link. This is clearly the... Oh yeah, this is the link, and I'm now saying I don't have the link. Oh, I not go to university. Do I not know how to reference things?
No, it happens, man. It happens, bro.
What? There you go. No, I've got it. So this must be the link where it's all in. Okay. Sugar. But what is this now? This is 53 what? 53 what? 53. Come on. what are we quoting from? 53 verse 1 to 8. Okay, yeah, verse 1 to 8. All right, cool. Yeah, but okay, cool. Okay, cool. That's it right here. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Yeah, so there it is. Yeah, like, let me send the link. Actually, let me send the link. This just makes my life a whole lot easier. There you go. Boom. Right there. All here, it goes through. It goes through what's going on, you know, like all of the words, your companions, close associate, blah blah blah, gone astray, being deceived. Then let's get to the major crux of it all. As a man, there is no human being who teaches. That angel Gabriel can be regarded as the holy prophet teacher. Here, some people express a doubt as to how the angel Gabriel can be regarded as the holy prophet's Mammah's teacher, for this would mean that he was teacher and the holy prophet his pupil, and this would place him above the holy prophet in rank. But this suspicion is misplaced because Gabriel did not impart instruction on the prophet's purity. It goes in, man. It goes in. Like, you have to just. It's a lot of reading to really just grasp, and we don't have the time to just. Well, I'm not going to just go through this and read this for everybody to see right now.
No, we'll keep it as our homework. But
Yeah.
see, in the Islamic story, the Sunni Islamic story, it's there was what's it? There was a time supposedly where he met Gabriel in a cave, and there was another time where he had some the night journey. You know, the night journey.
Yeah. So the first time in the cave, it doesn't say that he met Gabriel. It came later on. Okay. So if you, again, this is what the Translators Forward talks about, that he never actually, you know, Gabriel was never mentioned. Here it goes. Yeah, there is much of clear historical value in the remaining material about the call to prophethood. The story of the revelation by Gabriel of the first part of Surah 96 cannot be accepted as it stands, since there are strong grounds for holding that it was only after the Hijrah that Muhammad came to think of Gabriel as the agent of revelation. The receiving of passages of the Quran does not seem to have been accompanied by any visual experience, and so it is possible that Muhammad thought that it was his Lord himself who was putting the Quran into his heart. So anyways, you'll find that when you do the Hadith studies, you'll find that basically the angel Gabriel wasn't there in the early Hadiths and traditions, but later, you know, people placed Gabriel there as like an interpolation to say this is who he saw, but it never says he saw Gabriel.
So excuse my ignorance. Is Hijrah when the Prophet went to Mecca done Hajj?
This would be considered Medina, yeah. When he makes his way to Medina.
Oh, from Mecca to Medina. All right.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. That's interesting stuff, man.
Yeah. So you'll find like every time where you see Gabriel was being mentioned, nah, Gabriel wasn't actually there, but they needed to put somebody there. Like okay, he saw something. He saw a divine being. It must have been an angel, but originally,
Under assumption, obviously.
Yeah, what it was originally thought it was that he saw God himself. That's what they thought.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they thought he saw God himself.
So is Gabriel mentioned in the Quran at all by name?
Yeah, I believe so. I think there's only a few angels mentioned: Gabriel, Michael, the angel of death, and possibly Israfil, who is Raphael.
What is it? Is it like a list like that, or does it say anything about him? Or
I think he just makes mention of Gabriel and Michael. You know,
it just says they were angels of the Lord or something.
Yeah, if memory serves me correct, it just says like Gabriel and Michael. Let me just see this quickly. Type in Gabriel, Michael, Quran. Okay, so he's primarily mentioned in Surah 297, 298, and 664 of the Quran, although the Quranic text doesn't explicitly refer to him as an angel. In the Quran, the Archangel Gabriel appears in name 297 and 664. Okay, so let's quickly see. Let's quickly see. Where are we? Quran, Islam. Okay, let's go. 297. Is my screen being shared? Nope, it's not being shared. Let me go into Corpus Quran. Corpus Quran. Let me share my screen so you can see it. Corpus Quran. Boom. Cow. 97. Boom. Say whoever is an enemy to Jibrail, then indeed he brought it down on your heart by the permission of Allah, confirming what was before it, and a guidance and a glad tidings, and so forth. And 298, and whoever is an angel enemy to the angels, Mikael. So yeah, he's mentioned there. Let me put it into text format so you can read it. Quran, English translation, there you go. Anyways, whoever's an enemy to Allah and his angels and his messengers and Gabriel and Michael, then indeed Allah is an enemy to the disbelievers. That's that. And then 66:4. 66:4. If you two, i.e. the wives, repent to Allah, for your hearts have deviated. But if you cooperate against him, then indeed Allah is his protector, and Gabriel and the righteous of the believers and the angels, moreover, are his assistants. So those are the few times that Gabriel is mentioned. You good? Chai, you good? You good with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. So what will you say about the? It's that last verse you read again.
Uh-huh.
Can you read it again, please?
If you two wives repent to Allah, for your hearts have deviated. But if you cooperate, Muhammad. Hey, boy. So this is when you get Shia information. Yeah, this is right up your alley, you know. This is right up your alley. Because I have to get Issa, the black Shia, to come in, yeah, and really break this thing down, yeah. So
yes, you can.
Is talking about so it said it's talking about Aisha and I believe Hafsa.
That's interesting.
So they made up a rumor against another wife, and you know they were doing, I don't even know, they might have even been doing something else, right? And they were given opportunity to repent, innit? But you know, it's one of those ones like that the Shia will now use to say, you see these wives, yeah, they were deviants. Yeah, they've been made mention of in the Quran, yeah, as people that have gone astray. And so
I know this chapter. I've read this chapter.
Yeah.
You know what? I think the whole chapter is about the same topic. Like it makes references like to Noah's wife and who else? Lot's wife.
Look, even in Mohsin Khan has it here, you know. If you two, as the Prophet Muhammad, namely Aisha and Hafsa, radiallahu anhu, yeah, turn in repentance to Allah, it will be better for you. Your hearts are indeed so inclined to oppose what the Prophet likes. But if you help one another against him, then verily Allah is his Mawla, i.e. Lord, Master, and Protector, and Jibrail and the righteous among the believers, and furthermore the angels are his helpers. Yeah.
That's big bars, you know.
It's big boy buzz, you know, but I'm not involved, yeah? I'm not
Yeah,
involved.
I hear you. I wouldn't get involved in something like that myself.
But
Some dangerous things to.
this one here is a skin.
Yeah, bro. Light
Aisha,
bulb.
you know, Aisha again, you know that. Yeah, I'm not even gonna say that. Yeah, the Shias don't like Aisha, you know, and these are some of the bars that can justify why they don't like Aisha, because the Quran
So
is
I'm assuming that's one of the topics you wouldn't discuss, yeah?
like it's none of my business.
I hear you.
It's none of my business, isn't it? This is where I'll get the Shias to come in, yeah, and because they've got years more experience on this topic than I do, and they know the intricacies on it. So I will let them just take over and do what they have to do with it.
I'll go research it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to blow my own horn, but I'm a pretty good researcher. I'll find a lot of information in a short amount of time, put it together, and I'll come represent.
There you go.
I would love if you can bring some Shias and Sunnis on. So obviously I can hear from the other side and from, corrections and stuff.
You know, you have to go back to the old school shows, you know.
Yeah.
Just type in Titanstv Shia, and we've got loads of Shia stuff on there.
Now I would like to discuss it myself because I have questions that I can't find anyone really discussing in such specificity,
Okay.
whatever the word is.
Specificity. I
Yeah.
might have to get the Beit Al Ghadir or Isa to come on, and then when you're ready,
Nice. That'll be really good. But I do also want Sunnis as well, like some hardcore Sunnis, so they can tell me, "Oh, shut up, you're lying. This is what it actually is," and the other side.
okay, then that'll be like the Sunni Defense League, them man there to come on as well. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
We can try it. I don't know. See me, I'm an old man now. You know, I'm an old man. I'm just coming back
Nah,
here.
you're young, bro. You're still young, bro.
I'm just gracing everybody, you know, here and there with 1, 2 little something, man. I'm not a young boy again where I could be out in speakers corner and doing all the
Yeah, I hear
research.
you, man.
Man. I'm slow with it now. Slow with it. Victory.
Moved on to a different level here.
Yeah. Yeah. Family tree. So yeah, family. Yeah, like we've gone over the 2-hour mark. I want to close down the show, but what we will do.
Yo, peace, man. I appreciate the show. Thank you so much, Kalam.
You're welcome, King. But what we will do though is if you guys would like to actually still come on, yeah, and talk with the family, you know, after show, all that stuff, yeah, you know, the link is being sent to you guys now. So if you guys want to come through. It's going to be like after show stuff. So come quickly, and I'm closing on the show, but you don't come, and then you can discuss amongst each other off air. So don't have to be worrying about you being live on TV or nothing like that. Okay. Anyways, family tree. Jeez, it's been long. I love it. I love you guys. I love everything, man. I love it. I love it all. I love the whole research teams. I love everybody coming in and just interested in this stuff. But yeah, man, I'm signing out. So I'll catch you guys a little bit later. I'll be here for the next 5 minutes. So come on in. Peace and love, family. We out. Young Cali, baby. Oh, man.